Hello, Cosmic Witches, and welcome back to the Divine Gossip Girls podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. We have another forecast for you guys. So welcome to February, second month of the new year. And January had a lot of Capricorn energy, a lot of energy shifts, things coming to the surface, the ball rolling in a new direction, and we're going to have that energy continuing in February. So reminder for this forecast to make sure that you have a journal with you just to take notes on the themes that kind of stand out to you. Let your intuition guide you as to what is really calling out your name as we're referring to kind of collective energy within this podcast. And then at the end, get ready to ground it. Sophie's going to pull it all together and share with you some of those practices. So if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed as I'm sharing the energetic themes and then Maggie goes into the astrology, you don't have to remember it all. Sophie will help tie it all together and give you some practices to ground it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into this episode. Remember to share this with someone if you enjoy, and let's dive in.
Hey Cosmic Witches! Divine Gossip Girls here, your one and only source into the spiritual happenings of the cosmos.
Ever wonder what this month's energy will have in store for you? What the planets and stars are even up to? Or if the universe can just help you catch a break already?
Well, lucky you, because we have all the spiritual secrets to tell. Get ready to sip on your weekly dose of divine tea. All right, darling. So I will be starting here with the energetic themes for February. So what I do when I channel these themes is I just tune in to whatever kind of comes through, whatever the divine is showing me, and I let you guys know what it is. And I always like to say that Maggie and I do not talk to each other while we're doing these themes. I don't look into this astrological forecast for February. So this is what is coming through energetically for the collective. Once again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But I want to share with you guys the image that came through. So I usually visualize when I'm channeling. That's how a lot of messages come through for me. And what I saw were white doves flying and casting this glowy green energy on the earth. And I was like, what does this mean? The energy was very like loving and abundant, and just kind of like this new earth energy was definitely coming through. Like earth is regenerating. These white birds are bringing in messages, this green energy, and the aura, the wavelength that green brings, like the vibration of it, is all about like rebirth, health, hope, and many positive things related to overall well-being. So February is bringing this energy of like the earth is reawakening. More people are shifting into deeper levels of like spiritual awakening. I also saw the number 717, which is all about like 1 is the number of new beginnings and connections, and 7 is really about that connection to spirituality. So beginning new cycles from a more spiritual perspective could be coming up for you in February. So let's talk about some of the themes that came through. I leaned into tarot for this, as well as just channeling the vibes that were coming through. And the first theme that this may happen in chronological order, but these themes may also just be intertwined throughout February. The first theme was taking action in a new direction and initiating some new cycles. So a lot of January brought us a bit of clarity as to where we want to go. And February is going to be more about taking that action in a new direction and getting the ball rolling in this new energy. We also had the King of Pentacles, which is showing some of that discipline, some of that leadership, like you're initiating new things, you're initiating new routines, new cycles, new patterns. And that's not to say that this is super easy, right? When we take action in a new direction, we can have some self-doubt come up, right? When we are starting to do new things, maybe there's some people that don't really agree or some people that may judge us for it. But the biggest thing is we are choosing for ourselves in our highest timeline and for our highest good. This is where we want to go. So that's the first theme, which then feeds into theme number 2. So theme number 2 is purifying the mind, calming the mind and the ego through heightened compassion, forgiveness, and self-love. So we have the 9 of Wands or 9 of Swords reversed, which came through kind of bringing this energy of your inner critic maybe being a bit louder, anger, some inner turmoil that's going on that you've kind of been keeping within and caging within. This is your sign here to become aware of these things and start to release it, start to call these things out this year, especially when you're getting the ball rolling in a new direction and you have new beginnings. Of course, you're going to have a louder inner critic, right? It's trying to tell you like, no, stay in your comfort zone. Don't do that. Like, you're a beginner. You're not that good at this yet. Of course you aren't. You're just getting the ball rolling. It's okay to be imperfect, but be really aware this month when that louder inner critic comes up, the ego comes up, those limiting beliefs come up, look them in the face and call them out. Empower yourself, because the truth is that you are getting the ball rolling in a new direction. And if you let your ego take over, you're going to want to shrivel up into like a little ball. Like, I'm almost seeing, have you guys heard of like roly-polies or the potato bugs? Like, it's you going down that path and then all of a sudden you start to get scared and you want to like curl up into that little ball. This month is about not doing that. It's about seeing that inner critic and saying, I'm not going to curl up into that ball, but rather I'm going to face these things and I'm going to call them out and I'm going to empower myself. Because we also, along with the Nine of Swords reversed, we had the Justice reversed. So inner critics in full effect once again. And with Justice being a major arcana, I never know how to say it, a major card within the tarot deck. It's like, this is a pretty significant energy coming through. So it's time to lean into that forgiveness, that self-acceptance and self-compassion. More than ever, it is powerful for you to reflect and say, wow, I have really come so far. I am doing these new bold things and I'm going to not be so hard on myself. Like, do not be so hard on yourself and call yourself out when you are doing it. You cannot achieve everything overnight. You cannot become the best person overnight. Otherwise, that like end, you know, the gold's, what is it? Like, the pot of gold wouldn't be worth reaching if you didn't have to go through the journey to get you there. So see your inner critic as really a powerful mirror of the limiting beliefs and narratives you are actually holding within. It is reflecting back to you the things within you that are keeping you tied down to a lower wavelength. So thank this private judgment for showing you what you are ready to let go of. Like, I want you to kind of shift that perspective right now around limiting beliefs. When they come up louder, see it as like, wow, the mirror is like, I'm getting clarity on what is holding me down, what I need to release and let go of so that I can rise to that next level. So that's the second theme. And our final theme that came through, which, you guys, this theme, when I tuned into it, I started crying. I was like bawling in the middle of channeling and I was like, whoa, what is going on? This, my loves, is the light at the end of the tunnel. All those hard decisions you've had to make, all the things that seem to be like failing for you or going in the wrong direction. It's like, this month, there is going to be this click where all the puzzle pieces come together and you're like, holy shit. And what I wrote down was that decision you had to make, or that thing you had to do, or that thing that happened for you, you know why you did it now, or you know why it had to happen now. So it's kind of like the puzzle pieces click together. And this came through with the Star card. So renewal, hope, faith, things coming together, and a feeling that you are truly blessed by the divine, by the universe. It's like, I just feel like this deep, unconditional love and gratitude for the path you are on. So kind of noticing that, like, even when things feel like they're falling apart, like, holy shit, I am being guided. Everything is always happening for my highest good. And allow this time to really solidify and be like that green light that your spiritual growth and the commitment to yourself and the unique path that you are carving is propelling you into your highest timeline. Like, everything you have been through, it wasn't all for nothing. So there will be that light at the end of the tunnel. If you've been feeling a buildup ever since, honestly, 2020, like the pandemic, there has been this buildup of energy of like, we're doing more work, we're releasing more things, we're kind of seeing all our shadows, they're rising to the surface. They had to, because things had to be cleared for you to enter into the highest vibration that you have ever been at. We are shifting into a time where the earth is regenerating. There's this new energy within, and it's kicking up a lot of shadows. Collectively, there may be shadows in the public eye that are emerging, but know that they are coming up to be seen and cleared. So get ready for this powerful month. And without further ado, Maggie, take it away with the astrological forecast.
All right. So luckily in February, it is an easier month. It goes with what Karlie was saying, where some of this heaviness and all this energy that's been like pushing down on us, it really lightens a lot more in February. So we actually have 2 less transits this month than we did last month, which just means less of this chaotic energy moving around, right? Things get to be more settled. We get to figure out the energy more rather than shifting into something new. Now, there is still a lot of transits here, but it is, like I said, less. And there's no retrogrades in forecast. So everything comes out in the forecast, sorry. So everything comes out of retrograde in January and nothing goes into retrograde as of February. So it's going to feel just more straightforward. We can get comfortable in the energy. We can move forwards with this energy. It's just really straightforward, lighter, easier energy. So we start February 4th, which is fantastic. That gives us over a week with no transits. I might be wrong, but I think it's January 26th that we had our last, 24th, thank you, Karlie, 24th, that we had our last transit. And then we don't have another one until February 4th. So that's really, really good energy. That's allowing us to just be able to sit still for a moment there and figure out where we are. And then when we get to February 4th, this isn't a difficult transit. Mercury moves into Aquarius. It moves into an air sign. Having our planet of communication into an air sign is a really comfortable place for it. This is a time to speak up for yourself, speak up for others, fight for what's right. It's a time to be unique and let your voice shine out through you, your beliefs shine out through you. It's a great time for group work, and unique ideas will shine through you during this time. So it's so comfortable there. Then we get to February 9th and we have an Aquarius new moon. So it's just energy that's matching up with each other, this Aquarius energy. It's a time to experiment, to be social, to try something new. You want to embody more of your true self moving forwards during this time. So when you sit down on the new moon, if you do want to sit down on the actual new moon itself, just ask yourself, how can I embody my true self moving forwards? What in my life right now is dimming my inner shine? And who or what is holding me back or stopping me from being uniquely me? That's just for that new moon day there, if you want to get into that energy, but it's just that Aquarius energy, and the sun is in Aquarius, like everything is just lining up. And then February 13th, Mars enters Aquarius. So much Aquarius energy. This is a time where everything just gets to line up. We had a moment like this in January with Capricorn season, but Capricorn is more getting stuff done, hardworking, hustle, realism, whereas Aquarius is our motivation, our drive, our excitement, our uniqueness. It's like, let me do something that just feels like me. So when your Mars moves into that, and that's really your drive in moving forwards, it's really a time to say, okay, what can I move forwards that makes sense to me? Take everyone else out of the equation. This is on my heart. You can find that you might feel like you need to protest or stand up for people during this time. If you do, just make sure you're not rushing into a situation, rushing to do so, and make sure you're doing it in a way that actually helps. We all want to advocate for our friends, advocate for our loved ones, but sometimes we can do it in a way that's not actually helping them, not actually benefiting them. So even though you may feel the urge to in this energy, just make sure you're doing it in a way that's actually helpful. Have that conversation, use that air energy. Then we move into February 16th, Venus enters Aquarius. More Aquarius energy. So that's 4 planets in Aquarius, and we just would have left the Aquarius moon. So much Aquarius energy. This is a great time to make more friends, expand your social circle, join a new class, new hobby, a new group, try something new. You may feel more of a pull towards independence rather than that groundedness within your relationships, within your friendships, whatever. That's okay. You just had that moment. We were saying it's like cuffing season last time, right? Where people are getting into relationships. They're maybe a little more codependent. They're, grounding into that energy, being really realistic about their relationships. Whereas now you may want to be more independent. This doesn't mean that you have to break up with someone and be like, I'm single and independent. If you are single and independent, rock with this. This might be a time where you date yourself, where you do more self-love, where you just go in with yourself. But if you are in a relationship, this is a time to figure out, who am I within this relationship? Who am I as an individual, even when I exist with somebody else, right? It's just about that individualism. That's what Aquarius is all about, your uniqueness, your individualism. Then we have February 18th. Sun enters Pisces. Welcome to Pisces season. Pisces season, to me, I always get really excited about, because I'm a Pisces moon. I think it's going to be so amazing. And it's that super spiritual sign. But it is our final zodiac of the astrological year. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to get so magical this season. And then it sometimes can be a little more hard. This might be where some energy shifts to not necessarily be heavy, but just to be like, okay, I need to figure out how I'm moving forwards, because it's a time to tie up loose ends. But it's also that time of deep spirituality and oneness. It's permission to end things, but also to get super woo-woo. And it's a time to release what is holding you back and strengthen your intuition. So you can ask yourself, how can I feed my soul, but also make sure that I'm setting boundaries, make sure I'm purging, letting things go. Then on February 23rd, it's just a bunch of Aquarius and Pisces energy here, because Mercury is entering Pisces. This is intuition and mediumship skills at their loudest, at the forefront. It's time for deep spiritual and philosophical conversations that will feed your soul. This is when you can get lost in the fantasy and allow your mind to go big and go wild and just dream these huge, huge, huge dreams. It's an amazing time for manifestation and getting clear on your big picture rather than the small steps. This is a time to quantum leap and look at the 5-year plan and just release what no longer fits. Then we move on to February 24th, and we have the last, this isn't really a transit, but the last big astrological event, which is the Virgo full moon. So emotions are going to be really high, especially anxiety, because Virgos love you, but you have anxiety. Like pretty much every Virgo I've ever known has anxiety. My friend said something the other day and I laughed really hard because I was telling her this and she was like, I'm not a Virgo, but I'm also mentally ill. And I was like, relatable. But Virgos, like, anxiety comes out. So when we get hit, especially if you are prone to anxiety, when you get hit with that Virgo full moon energy, your anxiety probably will peak. But this is important to know so that you can know, I'm not my energy, I'm not my emotions. This is just a product of the environment I'm in right now, a product of the energy that's around me. So let me work with it rather than allow it to take me down. So this is an amazing time to sort out what isn't working in your life. With that Pisces sun and the Virgo full moon, it's like purge, purge, purge. It's like going through that closet and getting rid of everything within yourself, right? This is a time to maximize productivity. So clean your house, organize your space, check off all those things so that you can just purge space out of yourself physically, energetically, whatever you need, because otherwise you'll just kind of spiral into that mind a little bit. So allow yourself to release. And that's all we got. That's all we got for the astrology of February. It gets a little bit heavier at the end, but it's just necessary heavy so that Mercury in Pisces mixed with the sun in Pisces can really allow you to see the bigger picture, to manifest the big things and go for it. So you got this. It's going to be a much easier month, hopefully, this month than January was. And honestly, moving forwards, I just feel like the energy is getting inspiring again. So I'm excited to see what this month holds for you. And Sophie, let's wrap a little bow on it and take it away.
Okay, let's get into some intentions and some practices because I'm excited for February. As soon as I seen that Maggie said about shining your light and being your unique self, I was like, okay, February gonna be good. February gonna be good. So What my intention is for you guys is I know that Maggie gave some specific practices and prompts for the new moon and the full moon. I want you to write them down. I know that Maggie's prompts for the new moon were about how you can embody your true self more moving forwards, what in your life right now is dimming your inner shine, because we're going to shine bright this year. We're shining bright. So I want you to start looking at specifically on the new moon, like Maggie said, about how, who and or what is holding you back and stopping you from being your unique self, and how you can start shining your light, shining your true self on the new moon. And then she also gave some specific kind of action steps for the full moon. So we're going to stick with them for those two dates. But what the overarching theme that I kind of seen in both Karlie and Maggie's readings, which I absolutely love, because like we said at the beginning, like they don't do this together, but I am the one that sees both of them before we come on this session, and I look at them both and I kind of look at what their similarities are and how they align, and I'm like, oh my god, guys, done it again, you done it again. So what I really seen that both the energetics and the astrological forecast has in common this year, this month, that we can kind of hone in on and lean into, is this kind of these new cycles starting and the end of old cycles. And I think both Maggie and Karlie spoke about this, like stepping into your true self, like more self-love, like leaning into that side of things, leaning into your spirituality, leaning into your magnetism as well. So that's what the kind of practices that I want to give you today are kind of focused on. So the first practice I want you guys to do, which I'm really excited, and this is actually something I done with my best friend going into the new year, which is a burn and letting go ritual. So what you can do is like write down all the things that all the cycles, all the patterns, all the beliefs that you're releasing, you're letting go, that no longer serve you, that no longer support you, writing them all down on a piece of paper, and I want you to burn that piece of paper. I want you to burn it and let it go, so that we can create this space for these new cycles to start happening. The new cycles that are coming, they want to happen. It is happening energetically, astrologically. So let's lean into that and work with that. So have fun with that burn and letting go ritual. Like my friend and I, we had fun. We actually wrote it. You can do this as well. We wrote all the things on a plate as well, and we went out, put the plate in a poly bag, and we went outside and smashed the poly bag up, and also put in the bag the kind of remaining pieces of paper of the burned piece of paper as well, and then maybe threw it away. So have fun, make that kind of spiritual, because obviously we're tapping into our spirituality this month as well. So have fun with that, tap into your spirituality and have fun letting go of what no longer serves you, so that we can start to create these new cycles. So that takes me on to the next kind of action step that I want you to do. So once you've done that burn and letting go ritual, I want you to automatically do an automatic letter writing exercise. So once you've let go, I want you to write a letter from the version of you who has manifested their desires, who has shown up as their authentic self, their unique self, who their light is shining so bright, they've released all these limitations. And I want you to let them write a letter to you. Now that you've created that space within you to start dreaming big, for you to start opening your heart up to allow these visions to come to light, to allow these new beliefs to be unlocked within you as well, and start having that deeper connection with that reality and with that part of you and those versions within you. So that's a little exercise that you'd like you to do as well, whether you do that back to back or you do it whenever, but I think that's what I personally done in the new year, and I'm going to do it again, is doing that let burn ritual, and then afterwards, once you've created that space, you've let go, it's right, okay, let's connect with that bigger vision, let's connect with those more powerful parts of me. So those are two little practices I want you to do that align most with what both Karlie and Maggie said about the new cycles and releasing your inner critic and releasing what no longer serves you and tapping back into your manifestation magnetism, tapping into your spirituality, and really like leaning into this exciting energy, like things becoming lighter, things becoming better, you know, and tapping into that, letting things go and really like moving with this energy, because things are happening, things are shifting, things are coming towards you. So yeah, let's work with it. Let's work with that energy. So those are the two little practices I want you to tap into. And honestly, I really want to give you this song. I'm going to get whoever puts this up to put this song on the show notes, because I've been listening to it so much, and it's Brave by Jessie J, and it's like, I'm brave even when the fear is staring in my face. And I'm like, I feel this because obviously we're going to be releasing, we're going to be letting go, we're going to be looking at our fears, but we're so brave and things are coming towards us, things are happening, everything is starting to shift into place. So I want you guys to like listen to that song throughout the entire month of February and like lean into your courage, into your confidence, into your bravery, for magic and abundance to happen for you, even though the fear may be there, and you can look at your fear and not be so scared of your fear. So that's something else I would just like to give you as well. And some mantras to take away that I'm going to put into the show notes as well is for, I want you to take a deep breath. This is the last thing I'm going to give you. And I'm going to say these mantras. You can say them out loud or you can write them down, but they are going to be in the show notes. It is safe for me to shine. It is safe for me to shine, baby. I give myself permission to shine. I give myself permission to shine. We're shining this month. We are shining. I am safe and worthy of letting go of all patterns, cycles, and beliefs that no longer serve me. And you can tap back. Karlie's tapping. I'm like, yes, let's tap with us. I am the embodiment of manifestation and magnetism. I manifest all my desires with ease. Okay, and one last one. I am brave as fuck. I am brave as fuck, and I want you to put Brave on by Jessie J and dance like fuck right now with us. But yeah, we're tapping into releasing, letting go of old cycles, tapping into new cycles, tapping into our manifestation magnetism, and really leaning into this new kind of exciting energy that's happening. But yeah, I hope you enjoy your burn ritual. Please take a picture, send it to us. Let us know what you're letting go. Let us know how much fun you had releasing what no longer serves you and declaring and claiming this more authentic, more powerful version of you in your life that you're stepping into. And if you enjoyed this episode, or you know someone who would really appreciate this forecast and really enjoy it and really want to lean in to it with you, then please send this podcast to them. Send it to them. Send it to your spiritual bestie. And if you haven't already, please leave a little rating and review. It really does help the growth of the podcast.
We're at 70 on Spotify. Woo!
Are we? Oh my goodness. We also
at the time of recording this, maybe more when it comes out, because you guys rock.
Yeah, we're so grateful for you. We're so grateful for those who have tuned in already, whether you've listened to one episode, if this is the first episode you've listened to. We're so grateful you're here. This is obviously the second or third month of the podcast now. We're having the time of our life, so I hope that you're having the time of your life as well. But again, thank you for listening. I hope that you have an amazing February, and if you do have any questions at all, please send us an email. We've dropped the email in the show notes. Just send us an email. I think it's at divinegossipgirls@gmail.com or something. But if you have any questions, any recommendations, just drop us a little email and we'll be sure to check that out. But thank you again, and we will see you all next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, guys.